Òṣèré, gómìnà ìlú, òṣèré o, alága ìbílẹ̀, ẹ ṣeré mòwe.
In light of the recent security concerns in and out of Lagos that resulted into looting and vandalization of public and private properties, the authorities of Onigbongbo Local Council Development Area hosted the Conference 57 of Chief Press Secretaries in Lagos State.
Demand, which includes ensuring the unconditional release of all protesters arrested in Lagos State. The state is also committed to getting justice and retribution for victims of police brutality and dehumanization by SARS operatives. Consequently, Lagos State has instituted a 200 million naira trust fund for victims of police brutality in Lagos State. Also, inauguration of a 7-man judicial panel of inquiry on SARS-related human rights infringement. The federal government resolved to work speedily on police remuneration and other conditions of service. To us, as grassroots media heads, one of our sole responsibilities would be to give adequate coverage and reporting of the judicial panel of inquiry as they engage in criminal prosecution of police officers for offenses related to violation of human rights in Lagos State. We urge the CDCs and CDAs, traditional institutions, religious leaders, corporate bodies, youth organizations, and all residents of Lagos State in the appeal to support law enforcement agencies to return law enforcement agencies to our streets and communities in Lagos State as lawlessness prevails where there is no law enforcement agencies, and we should all do more to support law enforcement agencies in Lagos State.
In a bid to discuss the security challenges in their respective local councils, while pledging on enlightening the public on the negative impact of fake news. The group appraised the performance of the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in listening to the demands of the protesters and the role he played in putting an end to police brutality in Lagos State. Members of the group advocate for peace and appeal to the public to desist from sharing fake news on the social media. Of peace and order in the state.
And finally, without missing words, the Conference 7 CPS is using this medium to stand firmly our solidarity with our father, pathfinder, and transformer of modern-day politics in Lagos and Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yeah, our advice is for them to shun fake news and ensure that they do not allow hoodlums into their community. And that is what the local government chairmen have been doing to sensitize the youths in the environment. Like in my own local government, we just finished a 3 days inclusive consultation program for the youth through the National Youth Council of Nigeria to sensitize the youth in the environment to ensure that they protect the government properties and the community itself. So we are advising you to stop fake news, stop spreading fake news, and to also ensure they are very vigilant to monitor their environment.
The basic role of the CPS to the local government, the local government is the grassroots. We meet the people every day, unlike the state. So our basic role is to disseminate information to the youth. And so unfortunate we're experiencing this pandemic, the protests, and the violence attack. However, we've been able to disseminate some information to the youth that it's not everything that takes violence to get back to the government. There are several stages now that whereby the media disseminates information. But as Nigerian Union of Journalists, the second code of ethics is accuracy and fairness. Even at our homes, wherever we are, we can make sure that the information we are disseminating to the people is very accurate and fair enough to be disseminated to the audience. We have AfriCheck, other means where you can ensure that the information are very good and correct. So we've been engaging the people that, as a CPS, we've been engaging them that these informations, they are fake. You don't need to be violent before you get the consent of the government. There are several ways your media can be utilized very well in doing that. Media, you can submit letters to the government so that everything you need can be met up to. So it is not until we do violence attack before we can achieve our means. As a youth, I think we should use that method. Dialogue is better. We can negotiate and ensure that we get what we negotiate for.
Well, the role of the youth is so enormous, because if you look at the totality of the youth, it is the largest chunk of any population. And if any population must get it right, the youth must definitely get it right. In our own particular situation, the youth have a lot of task in churning out information that are not destructive. That's the major role of the youth as regards the situation presently. Show violence, to quell fake news, and be patriotic.
Based on what Chairman for Conference 57, CPS, just said, these fake news are manipulative, they are diabolical, and most times so many people tend to read the headline without having to read the content of the news item. So these headlines that most people read, they just go about, the way I disseminate information to others might be different from what I saw in the first place. So because of this, I would like to say that people should take their time to ask, especially like in journalism, what we usually say, know who sent it, why it was sent, when it was sent, how it was sent. So when people start understanding this, then we'll be able to get over most of all this.
At this point, I will only say a very big thank you to our CPS, to the various leaders in our communities, because what transpired during the hashtag NSAS protest and the eventual looting of shops and areas within the community. I am proud to say that, with the exception of the cinema in Oregon there and Dr. Finney Park, they were burnt, they were set ablaze and seriously looted. Other than that, there is no place in Onigbongbo as a whole, from Oregon to Lushosu to Maryland to GRA to Wasimi to Okwebi. And let me equally say this, that this is the very first time since 1993 that I've been within the area when it comes to protest and mayhem like this. This is the very first time that not even a Vespa tire was burnt in Maryland. So it's to further show credence to how we have been able to reach to our people. And let me equally say that when you see Onigbongbo, I want to say that Onigbongbo is actually located in a place where you have so many volatile and black spots, ranging from the dump sites, the Bola boys, the Ojota boys, and for us to be able to keep all these people at abeyance, it shows how far we have gone in reaching out to these people. And I'm saying a very big thank you to every one of them that have ensured a peaceful environment in Onigbongbo SC as well. For the opt-in time, I will say that it is difficult to effect any change from outside. What I will encourage all our youths, like I told some NSAS members that I met with before the mayhem, I told them, I said, look, I was once like you people. It was just God's providence that gave me this opportunity to find myself at this level. My advice to all our youth out there is for all of us to be interested in what happens, what goes on around our communities. If we are saying our leaders are bad, it doesn't matter if it is APC or PDP. We must all be interested in party politics, because it is he or she that shows interest in what transpires, what goes on in those parties, that eventually come out to be part of the electoral process. In our constitution, there is nowhere in our constitution where we have independent candidature. So, if you are not partisan, you are not actively involved in the politicking, I'm sorry, it will be very difficult.
Òṣèré, gómìnà ìlú, òṣèré o, alága ìbílẹ̀, ẹ ṣeré.